Greetings, this is the man who pretends to be Charles Darwin, and I'm speaking to you in January in Oklahoma. And as you can see, it's winter. There's no snow around here because this is a southern state, but you can see that on this black oak tree, the buds have not yet opened. Now, we can't get a really good look at these buds because they're so high up in the tree, but I used a pole trimmer to bring down some twigs, which I hope the camera will be able to focus on. Okay, give it a few minutes and it should be able to focus. Okay, now what we are seeing here is the buds of black oak. And you can see they're pretty big. And there's lots of stuff inside these buds. The one on the top I've cut open so that you can see that there are immature leaves and catkins as well on here. Catkins being the male flowers. Well, what's going on here? What I'm going to explain to you is the evolutionary reason why spring seems to spring and why it seems to happen so rapidly. You can have at the beginning of March that these buds might be totally enclosed like this, and then within a couple of weeks they've opened up and the leaves have started to green up a little bit. Well, why is it that it happens so fast? And the reason is because it's an evolutionary race. Now, there's a proximate reason, that is the actual chemical and physical explanation, and the proximate reason is because the sap rises in the tree and the pressure builds up inside the bud, pushes it open, and out comes the leaves and the catkins. Well, of course that's true, but what I'm interested in for this series of videos is the ultimate reason, that is the evolutionary reason. And that is because of the struggle for competition. That the trees that do the best in the summer, it's easy to see, are the ones whose leaves are in the sun, carrying out photosynthesis, making food, and shading out the leaves of the competitors. That's just as important as actually making the food. But that is something that doesn't just happen in the summer. It started last fall. If you looked at these buds in November, you would have seen something that looked almost like the buds that you're seeing here, and they will continue looking like that until the beginning of March. And so not much appears to be happening right now, and yet the race, the struggle for existence is going on right now. Because what happened is last fall, the trees, in this case the black oak, put an investment of leaf and catkin tissue into the buds so that once it did get warm enough, the inhibitors have broken down and it gets warm enough so that the sap can rise and the buds can open, then all they have to do is expand. You could say that these buds are, so to speak, spring-loaded. And so that's part of the adaptation that the trees have for evolutionary competition, is not only do they make leaves in the spring, but they prepared the leaves in the fall so that they would be able to get as quick of a start as they can in the spring. So think of it as being like a race. And of course, when the race is actually going on, when the leaves are out, it's easy to see that the leaves that carry out the most photosynthesis are the ones that are going to win in the race. But also part of winning the race is starting. So it's as if in a human race you're saying, on your mark, get set. And then in the case of the black oak trees, they wait for a few months. So on your mark, get set, wait for 3 months. But then when the starting gun sounds, go. And that's when the buds quickly open. And in a human foot race, you can't say, oh, the starting gun sounded, that means I'd better get my shoes tied. No, it's too late. And so that's the way it is with trees also, that they have to be prepared in the fall so that they can rapidly rush and win the race for competition in the spring. So there's evolution all around you, even when it appears that nothing's happening and the buds appear to be dormant on the trees. This is the man who pretends to be Charles Darwin. Tally ho, and amen.